Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're back. It's been a couple months now since we've done this. 2.5 months now, Jeff? Crazy thing. One of the craziest things happened in our 2.5 months is Tom Brady had his entire retirement while we were gone.
Yeah. And he is back.
He retired, retirement's done already. He retired after we went to break, came back before we came back. Tom Brady's back. Yeah, so that happened while we were out. Other than that, not a whole lot of craziness, but I guess the Tom Brady news, we could start off with that. We'll talk about free agents today. Well, actually, before we do that, in the break, I started a Discord for Fantasy Football Prophet. We actually have a good amount, probably some of you guys that are listening right now are on there. We got some, football talk, gambling talk, all that good stuff. If you want to be part of the Discord, just go hit us up on Instagram at instagram.com/fantasyfootballprophet. Send us a message. We'll get you the link, get you set up there. It's going to get bigger as we go. Right now, I think we only had sent it out to the people that were in the relegation leagues. But, hey, we want everyone to join. It'll be a good place to talk to us, get some good info and good group there. So go check us out on Instagram, and we'll get you that link for the Discord. All right. And then, let's just talk about some Tom Brady. I don't really know much to say about it. Nothing's changed now. So he retired, came back, so there's really not much to worry about. It's the same deal.
There's been a few of those. So, nothing really changes besides for the fact that we'll just have to figure out where his weapons are at now. But, he left. I'm not sure. It's a strange one because you're kind of like, okay, the team is over. And then I didn't even hear anything necessarily about.
There was no quarterback talk of either who they were going to get.
Or even why he came back.
He decided he wanted to keep playing.
Yeah, just like unfinished business. I just wonder if they're like, hey, we can keep the team intact if you want to come back.
Yep.
I don't know. It's very strange.
Well, they just they franchised Godwin, and then I just got the notification he signed 3 years, $60 million. So Godwin's sticking around. Evans is obviously there. It sounds like Gronk's going to be back is what we're hearing. And then one of the free agent signings, they did sign Russell Gage is now their new number 3. Is going to be Russell Gage, which I think that's a good signing. I actually thought Russell Gage could have done something if he was a number 1 somewhere maybe, but he's good as a 3. That's perfect for Russell Gage.
Yeah, in that offense, I do think that he can help them. And they need someone that's capable because you never really know what the injury is going to take. O.J. Howard, gone. He's going to Buffalo, right?
Is he? I don't even know.
I believe he's going to Buffalo, but they did re-sign who's the other tight end that they have?
Oh, yep. O.J. Howard went to Buffalo. Cameron Brate,
they re-signed him.
Yep.
And we'll see what, and Gronk should be back there too. So
Bills with O.J. Howard, that's interesting. O.J. Howard is always that just untapped potential, but they have Dawson Knox, though, too. So
yeah, I actually love, the Bills in general put a lot of money out there, but they got really either high-quality players or talented players.
Yeah, so not fantasy-related, but they signed Von Miller, so 6 years, $120 million.
A lot of money for a guy like that. It's very interesting to see what all these teams are doing money-wise because they're finding a way to sign these players and almost like punt all of their salary, down so they don't have to worry about it. Restructuring feels like every other player in order to free up cap room. And so, it doesn't seem like you can't sign anyone these days.
It feels like the cap doesn't matter. There's ways around it. Not all of it's guaranteed anyway. Except for Aaron Rodgers' new deal. He's like $150 million guaranteed in his deal, which is ridiculous.
Woo.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. And watch him complain that the Packers didn't surround him with enough talent.
Yeah, he won't have enough money now.
After taking $50 million a year.
Yeah, well, at this point, I think he just knows that they're not going to.
So other than the Bucs, the retirement, non-retirement, whatever, the Browns have been an interesting team. They
imploded?
They've done a bunch of stuff. They traded for Amari Cooper, which interesting. They released Jarvis Landry, and now it sounds pretty much like Baker Mayfield is done with them. Like they're done with Baker Mayfield. Actually, the article I saw a little bit ago said the Browns want an adult at quarterback.
Ouch.
That's hurtful.
That's brutal.
And Baker, he put out basically a farewell letter as well, which is odd. and they're flirting with Deshaun Watson. That's what they want.
Well, they better get him now.
Yeah, I mean what else are you going to do?
If they don't get him, it's not going to matter if you have Amari Cooper, and you're going to be, you're going to have to run it every down. They tried to do that last year pretty much, and it did not work out in their favor. So I'm not sure what they're doing at this point.
Yep, they're an interesting one.
It feels like an offense in fantasy that. I mean, it's great. Do I still want Chubb? Yeah. Do I still want
If they get Deshaun, it becomes interesting. The teams sound like in the running for Deshaun Watson, where the Browns, Panthers are out there, Saints are out there. That seems to be about. They're not going to trade him to the Colts. Colts were interested, but it's the same division. They're not.
Yeah. Why would you want to
trade him there?
Yeah.
So Colts, I don't think have a quarterback right now. They traded Carson Wentz to the Commanders, so no longer have to say the football team. They traded him to the Commanders over in Washington.
What do you think about that?
Carson Wentz is interesting. I don't know what I feel about him.
I'm not ready to write him off.
No, I'm not either. I can't. Man, Heineke was. People, I think, fell in love with Heineke in a way, but he wasn't that good.
No.
I think it could help Terry McLaurin. So
that was my big one.
That's where I like it.
And I'm not the hugest McLaurin supporter, right? Last year I thought he was overhyped.
Yeah.
He was, by the way. But I do think that them signing Wentz, even though it feels like everyone's throwing cold water on the deal, I actually think it was a good move by perhaps both teams. We'll find out what the Colts end up with. But I think that Wentz needed a new start. I think that he doesn't have to be the guy everyone looks to on Washington. And I think McLaurin can actually finally have that top 15, wide receiver season here. I think that he's a really good fit with him. So I'm actually kind of high on McLaurin this year after him kind of disappointing everyone. I'm hoping that he drops a bit.
Yeah, and Wentz, I'm just not – people really downgrade or really just say how terrible he is. But, man, that guy was playing like an MVP before he was hurt with the Eagles.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he would have been MVP. He would have definitely been the MVP, without a doubt. And I'm just not ready to just write that off yet. I'm not.
No. And you have plenty of people to throw to on that team. I'm not saying you have like the best weapons, but at the same time, Wentz wasn't exactly – he was at his best when he was pinpoint and he was throwing, kind of middle routes. He wasn't throwing it down the field necessarily. He was throwing a lot to tight ends. So I think that a lot of these guys are able to be possession wide receivers. So I really do think he can do something there in Washington. Another player – that surprised me. So I've heard it was almost like a Tom Brady move, except with trades. J.D. McKissic was going to go to the Bills.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that was going to be interesting.
I was like, oh, good. Singletary's value once again takes a giant hit. Yeah. I was like, you can't trust the running backs. And then he pulls out of it.
Yeah.
And he's going back with Washington. I don't necessarily like that for him.
I don't know if I don't like that for Antonio Gibson either. Which
no,
I don't. I actually put Antonio Gibson on a fade list for next year or this year. People weren't happy with me, but I think they're overvaluing Antonio Gibson. But now with McKissic back there, McKissic's going to get some work.
Yeah,
obviously.
Definitely will.
So yeah, that was an odd one. I thought the fit could have worked with Buffalo, but
yeah, I thought he might have been a better fit than Singletary or Moss. To be quite honest, it's not like they're a heavy run team.
Yep.
So to have another guy that can catch the ball back there.
Yeah, so there's no really other trades, so it's really just free agents at this point. So some of the moves we could talk about. Chase Edmonds went to Miami, and it looks like Raheem Mostert.
He did. He signed there.
So
the death of Gaskin.
Sorry, Gaskin. Zach, if you're listening, probably not. Screw you, man. I was right. Gaskin sucks, and they all knew it.
Yeah. Well, the question will be, it does not give a clear path to anyone.
No,
though. It is a terrible backfield to own anyone in because Gaskin could be good for a game, and then all of a sudden Mostert is healthy, and he's the guy. And then,
but I like that for Elijah Mitchell with the 49ers.
Oh, without a doubt.
Leaving. That's what I feel good about is Mitchell, and maybe Trey Sermon gets some actual work.
I mean, we can hope. I'm not a big Sermon fan either, and he hasn't showed me anything. But I think this opens it up for Elijah Mitchell so much.
Yep. They must have some. I think they believe in him a little bit with that.
You have to believe that Sermon will get a little bit of a chance this year.
Well, so Edmonds as well goes to the Miami. I don't know what that's going to play out like. That's something I'm going to avoid. Miami, I'm avoiding. That's basically not going to play with that backfield at all. Actually, the team in general. Jalen Waddle is probably it.
Waddle, yeah, he's legit.
And I mean, Tua makes a step up. They did trade. They signed Teddy Bridgewater to be the backup, which we'll see.
I mean, he's a backup.
He is. He's not great.
Yeah.
James Conner stayed with Arizona with Edmonds leaving. So
really interesting. He did unbelievably well last year. No one saw it coming. Where are you going to be thinking of drafting him? Because he is going to probably take a giant hit on his value, but I'm not sure if he should.
You know what? He's going to be interesting because people liked him. He did well, but you just don't believe in it, right? And I don't think we didn't believe in it.
Where is this guy anyway? Where's he ranked right now?
That's what I'm pulling up right now. I'm pulling up these early ranks. I want to see what people...
I have to be missing him. Okay, 21.
Okay, you know what? That's good. That's almost running back 3. You can get him as your third.
I like that. I'll take that all day. That'd be great.
There will be teams you get him as your third running back. I do like that.
We'll see who else they add to the team.
Man, you know what's crazy? I'm just looking at these ranks real quick. If I can get Saquon as the 18th running back, man, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys Saquon on the list that you're kind of like, how do I pass up on him?
This is crazy. Saquon's 18th. Aaron Jones is 17th. Zeke is 16th. Zeke, I'm going to avoid Zeke, I think, but still, you're starting to get some value.
Here's another one, though. I can't imagine that on this list, sure.
Yeah.
But in a regular draft, I can't imagine people passing up that many names because you're going to be like David Montgomery or Zeke. And people are going to be looking at it and like, I'm not ready to give up on. And Zeke had a good year last year. Like, I'm a Zeke hater this year. I really am.
I'm
but if he is really down to 16 already,
right?
You're like, I feel like he'll go back up. But
crazy?
People are going to be like, dude, he was like a top 5 running back last year. That's what they're going to look at.
J.K. Dobbins is getting ranked higher this year, coming off the injury than he was last year.
I know, completely ruining my entire. Man, I was going to have so much pay dirt. Him and Etienne's 22.
He's about the same rank as he was. That'd be interesting.
How is that makes me laugh too. Etienne coming off of a very harsh injury. James Robinson still looked relatively good.
Then he got hurt. I don't know how long that'll linger.
That's true. But you have Michael Carter that is ranked underneath him at 26.
Michael Carter's not getting any love. I don't know. I don't know if that's. Not sure how I feel about Michael Carter. It's gonna be something I want to look at. But I'll say, speaking of Jacksonville, how about their signings? Christian Kirk, 4 years, $84 million.
Dude, someone explain this to me. What did they see that no one else did? Because I'm not the only one that is confused by
Christian Kirk, I think we thought there was some talent there, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, last year he played. He got 77 catches for 982 last year, 5 touchdowns. He was making a step up when you look at it. In his 4th year, he made a step up, but I don't know if I saw that. He's only 25. He's not that old. He's at a good age yet. That's a lot of money though. So to pay the guy to be he should be their number 1 then. So,
well, the only thing I can imagine is feels like a lot of money, but the only thing I can imagine is, hey, no wide receiver wants to come here. We have to go out and we have to get a young talent that is going to possibly blossom. We're gonna have to overpay him because we need weapons around Lawrence. Because right now you're like. Who else do you have?
Yeah.
I mean, Marvin Jones, like they tried it last year too with him. Whatever. Well, DJ Chark is gone now, and he was hurt a lot.
So they also paid good money to Zay Jones. Did you see Zay Jones' contract?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. I gotta find where is the Zay Jones money? He got more money than he should. 3 years. $30 million to a 24 base up to 30. So but still, wide receivers get paid.
Yeah, they get paid, and that one is. I mean, he still got paid more than he should. But
so now he has Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, and they just signed Evan Ingram as well.
I mean, you have people to throw to, but you definitely. I mean,
and they signed some offensive line guys. They're trying to give Lawrence every opportunity.
And you will get Etienne back. You have James Robinson when he's healthy,
and they have the number 1 pick.
And then so. They could start making a push. It's going to be up to Lawrence, but I'm kind of surprised they gave that much money to Kirk when I honestly would have been much more. If I was them, I'd probably just say, I'm going to take, with the first pick of the 2nd round, a really high-end wide receiver and hope that he comes through. Because you still have Marvin Jones. You could have went off and got Zay Jones still and just say, hey, 3 years, who gives a, But Christian Kirk, I don't know. That is just such a monster contract for a guy. And maybe, who knows? Maybe it's not guaranteed. So they're like in 3 years, it doesn't hurt them.
None of these are, to be honest. They're all, you can get out of these contracts somehow, always. It's the way it works. Then like I said, DJ Chark goes to the Lions.
I love that signing.
I like that. It was only 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year prove it deal.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think he can make up to like 12.
You know what? I just realized we didn't talk about Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah, the biggest one. It happened a while ago.
Tom Brady came back after that. Russell Wilson traded to the Broncos.
Yeah, okay. I love this. I absolutely love it. First of all, I was kind of like bummed when Aaron Rodgers didn't leave because it would have been fun to see him somewhere else. And then I never in my wildest dreams thought that Seattle would trade Wilson.
No.
I'm not sure why that happened.
They had a falling out with that. It must be. And they went to rebuild because then they went and cut Bobby Wagner. They're just on rebuild mode here.
So here's the thing with that. The offense, as far as fantasy goes, we'll start with the Broncos. Wilson going there, I think it ups everyone's ante. I think all of a sudden, all of these guys that we've really loved, we're like, we have to stay away from them.
Judy, Cortland Sutton.
Ooh, I mean,
Tim
even
Patrick.
Noah Fant.
No, Noah Fant was traded.
Oh, my God,
he
that's
went to Seattle. He's in the deal.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal, actually, for him.
Alberto.
Yeah. Okay, never mind then. Jerry Jeudy and Sutton, though. I think those guys can finally – and even Hamlin.
I love this for Jerry Jeudy. I hate this for DK Metcalf. Sorry, DK.
He's the one that got hurt the most by it.
Metcalf, Lockett, man, they got receivers, I guess. They have Metcalf, Lockett, and Fant. But as of right now, they got Drew Lock as their quarterback now.
Yeah, and we all know that doesn't work.
So that's an interesting one.
So that is the one, like Sutton and Jerry Jeudy skyrocket in my mind.
I've loved Jerry Jeudy. So
how far does DK fall down for you?
Man, he's not in the top 10 anymore. He's not a top 10 receiver. You know what? I'd probably have it's going to depend on actually who is the quarterback when it's all said and done. If it's Drew Lock, DK is not in my top 15. And DK was, we talked about DK last year and about how things were just not working.
He might be closer to like 20.
He really might. Depending on quarterback, but if it's Drew Lock or anybody Drew Lock level, I don't even know who else you get. Baker? Like who do you like?
Well, that would be even worse than Lock, maybe? Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know what you do, but man, I can't believe that broke up though. I guess the Lions traded Stafford. It happens at that sometimes. Man, sucks to lose franchise quarterbacks like that. Russell Wilson,
you can't rebound.
You just
from that.
never would have thought it would happen.
No, I thought they were going to keep him for the long haul. Man. Like, make it work. You know what I mean?
I love this for Jeudy. Love this for Sutton. That's where...
they're in my mind, they all of a sudden took a step where they could be a championship caliber team.
And I don't think, like, Fantasy Pros ranks have adjusted yet to that because they were 34th. Jeudy was 34th. Sutton was 36th. If they're going to stick there, my God, I'll get them on every team.
Oh, yeah, both of them.
So they're going to have to go up because otherwise I will have them on every single team without a doubt. Like, one of those guys. Which one are you more intrigued by? Me, it's Jeudy. I like Jeudy. You're the Sutton guy, I know. So
I like it,
but I like Sutton.
A couple years later, and a couple more injuries.
I just really like Jerry Judy's potential, and I think it can get unlocked if he actually has somebody throwing the ball to him. Yeah,
it's almost kind of nice that he had a couple of years to progress without all these eyes on him. I do think that he would be kind of an undervalued guy because he struggled the first year anyway. And if he had a good quarterback, everyone would have kind of wrote him off. So now I think that he is a very interesting prospect. Sutton, if he stays healthy, he's obviously not DK, but he is a very sure-handed, big wide receiver that can get down the field, make really good catches. We all know Russell Wilson can definitely find him in the end zone. Mm-hmm. I think he could have immediate success. Jerry Jeudy is a little more of the lottery pick, but his skill set, I was a huge fan of his. I thought he was going to be the best coming out of that draft class. And I was like, oh, he's stuck in purgatory now with like Drew Lock and everything. I could be right or wrong on this year because he has a lot to live up to because, CeeDee Lamb is going to be the man now in Dallas. He looks like he probably is the best one out of all of them, but.
Yep. Michael Gallup becomes more interesting now there too.
Yep.
He re-signed. That's an interesting player. So those are like the main signings. I'm going to go through some of them, see if there's any other like interesting signings going on. Cedric Wilson signed with the Dolphins, 3 years, $22 million. See, wide receivers just get paid.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level. Because he goes and gets 3 years, $22 million, while Raheem Mostert gets 1 year, $3 million. like they're the same level. If anything, you'd say Raheem Mostert's a better running back than Cedric Wilson is a receiver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If he was healthy, I would say yeah. But you're probably like, I'll give you $3 million because you'll play 3 games.
The Jets re-signed Braxton Barrios, which I actually like Braxton Barrios. I really like the way he played at the end of the year. So that's a good sign. Interesting how that ends up playing out. Like we said, the Browns got Amari Cooper. They also signed Jakeem Grant. Yay. They franchise tagged Njoku, which I mean, are you going to use him? Like, franchise tag him all you want. Are you actually going to use him?
How are you? Hold on. Really?
Yeah. Odd, right?
It's very odd. I mean, that is a lot of money you'd be giving him for 1 year. Obviously, it doesn't hurt your cap like moving forward.
But still, let's use him then.
That's a lot of money, though. It has to be, right? Because it would be what? That's the average.
Like the top
5 players, right?
Yeah. Here's a big one we missed. Mitchell Trubisky is the new quarterback of the Steelers.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm not done. Like 2 years, $14 million. That is could go up to 27 with incentives. So if he has to be good to get the 27, that's a very team friendly deal.
Yeah.
For a quarter. You know what? I'm not done with Trubisky either. Like I wasn't. I'm just not. I think there's something possibly there. We'll get to see if it was all Matt Nagy was the reason he wasn't any good. I mean, he had flashes.
Yeah, I don't think he's as bad as he was his last year, and on the Bears. The only thing I don't like about this, I think it's a good signing. To be quite honest, I think the Steelers are doing it right. I would have loved for them to get a legit quarterback like Wilson or something because they have so much talent at wide receiver. I don't think that Trubisky will help any of that situation, but they can run the ball. He could run the ball. And to be fair, he still has to beat out. I mean, he's going to beat out Mason Rudolph, but I do wonder if like Haskins will push him. I know no one is talking about him right now, but he is I believe he's on the team for a 1 year deal, right? Yep. I mean, nothing is guaranteed. But Trubisky, this is his shot to like show that he still has it, and he's an athletic guy. So I kind of hope that he does well.
The Chargers did re-sign Mike Williams, 3 years, $60 million.
Wow. I mean, he's more talented. I mean, I get that one a lot more than I get the Christian Kirk.
But the wide receivers, man, just keep getting paid.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, Ricky Seals-Jones is going to replace Evan Ingram with the Giants. You excited?
I mean, I could care less either way. It's not like Ingram was healthy, so I'm not. He had, like, his rookie year showed so much promise, and then he didn't do anything. Yep. So, yeah, I don't think it's much of a downgrade, to be quite honest. And who else did New York? I feel like they signed one other guy.
Giants? They signed Tyrod.
Oh, maybe that's who I'm thinking. Yeah, you have Tyrod back there too, which is hilarious. It always feels like, be like the Daniel Jones. Yep. Willie, won't they replace him? And, Tyrod, that poor guy, never going to actually get to be the quarterback anywhere.
The Lions, like we said, signed DJ Chark, and they did re-sign Josh Reynolds, who was a decent receiver for him last year when he came over.
And Khalif
Raymond as well. So they're keeping all those guys together. So very interesting there.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. I think it is the right move. And DJ Chark, what do you see for his outlook if he stays healthy?
It's hard to say exactly, but I do like the potential of him and St. Brown.
I like that they went out and because that they're probably going to add wide receiver depth in the draft anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're going to get because it is so deep. I don't know if there's a standout necessarily, but there's a lot of guys that are quite fast. If anyone watched the Combine, you'll see that.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like the fact that you went out and got DJ Chark on a kind of a prove-it deal because he's been hurt. He could be the number one, though, on a team that will grow, give Goff a little help. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been doing really well the second half of last year. He's going to be kind of the darling for everyone, which is great. Yep. But, they're not going to be – that offense is still not going to be good. Don't get too excited. But I do like the fact that you put enough players around them. They should be able to spread the ball out and hopefully score more than they did last year. Not a fantasy viable team, besides for Swift and Hawkinson probably. But still, they're starting to build something because they're a relatively bad team.
Yep. All right, and that's pretty much all for the signings at this point. There's going to be more. There's still Allen Robinson out there. He's probably the biggest name. And he's going to get big money. No, it's funny. He's going to get a really big deal despite how bad he was. So,
well, I think everyone knows it was not his fault.
Yeah. So he's out there. Odell's still a free agent, but the ACL injury you kind of feel like he's going to end up back with the Rams on a smaller deal and see how it goes from there, right?
Yeah.
Disappointing for him that happened, but I'm looking at a list here. Antonio Brown's on the list yet. I don't know.
Well, also a big news is I haven't heard that they've done it yet, but I have heard that the Titans are going to.
They did. Yes.
They did officially?
Yes. Cut Julio.
Cut Julio Jones. Yep. So he'll be out there too now.
Yep. He's on this list here. He's listed as the 17th best free agent right now.
Which is, maybe he's really more beat up than.
And it might be. You remember how Andre Johnson just fell off at the end? And it feels like that to me.
Oh yeah, even Kelvin Johnson.
Kelvin would have got there.
He would have. He saw the writing on the wall.
That receiver, that type of receiver, it happens, and I feel like it's happening for Julio right now.
Look at that. The Titans did it because they needed him down the stretch. He wasn't healthy. Henry, everyone got hurt, but he will find a home, and it will probably be on a whatever contract. But it's going to be the Chiefs, the Rams, the Bills. One of those teams will pick him up and just say, "We're going to use you sparingly."
Maybe the Falcons go bring him back on a 1-year deal. I wouldn't. They need receivers. Calvin Ridley's another news we didn't talk about. Calvin Ridley's suspended for the year for gambling.
That guy can't catch a break. Yeah. I don't know, and I wish they would tell what he actually did. They just say he gambled, right? What does that mean?
He did bet on. He did some NFL parlays, and he bet on the Falcons to win.
But that was after he was already not with the team, right?
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah, he was gone, and it's a parlay. That is no inside knowledge.
8-team parlay on one of them was
no inside knowledge.
Like an 8-team parlay, like a 5-team parlay.
So I think that one is way too harsh. And maybe they know he's not coming back, so they're like,
well, they want. I think
they're making a statement.
They're going to make their statement. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Cordaro Patterson's still a free agent. I don't know if he goes back to the Falcons. You know what? I'm going to stay away from Cordaro Patterson next year, 100% all day. I'm not going to draft.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to.
I'm not going to get him anymore.
What I keep hearing that Watson was going to meet with the Falcons, and I'm like, on what?
Yeah.
In God's green earth, what would you? If that's the only place he could go, then go there. But why in the world would you ever want to end up on the Falcons? It is your career would be over if you signed a long-term contract.
Nope, I don't. Hopefully, he won't go there.
They have to be in rebuild mode.
Oh, the other receiver, Jarvis Landry, he was released by the Browns. He is meeting with the Falcons.
Oh, him too. And I was like, dude, do not go there, man.
Yep. Juju Smith-Schuster's a free agent yet, so there's more, another player that, he had an awesome year when Antonio Brown was opposite of him. We'll see if.
Yeah, if they could bring him in and he could be the number 2 somewhere.
Yep.
I'm trying to think where these guys can land though.
Don't know. It's going to be interesting.
They're going to be on. They're not going to be on good teams.
No.
Do you see any landing spot for, say, Allen Robinson?
Well,
because you would want him to be the number 1, right? Number 1, number 2, maybe.
And you know what? I'm not finding a lot of. There's not a lot of great fits right now. There was talk of the Raiders for Allen Robinson too, and I don't know. There's just not. I don't know. There's not a lot of great fits right now that I could just see him stepping in, unless because you want the money. There is if you're taking a short, a small 1-year deal. That's the difference. Like we always say, like the Packers, I can see the Packers getting somebody on a 1-year deal. They never seem to.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's always a spot.
How great would it be to see Julio there?
Yeah, like somebody like that. They could easily do that.
Allen Robinson would be a great fit,
but
really.
He wants money. He's going to want the money.
Yeah.
Julio could do it. I could see it more of Julio.
What is, I'm trying to think now. I was going to say Miami maybe. They could go out and get the money. But I'm trying to think of who is really missing a.
Falcons are going to receive a receiver.
Would the Rams want to go after one of these guys? It'd be Kupp, and then it would be this guy, and then Woods would be number 3.
I don't know if they'll do it. Eagles could use a receiver, I think.
Ugh.
They always could. I know exactly how I feel about it. Eagles could. I think you said the Dolphins could.
Raiders could. One of these guys will end up going for the money.
The Browns could now, so they only have Cooper.
Yeah, okay. If they get Watson, maybe that changes everything.
Yeah.
But if you don't get him, you're you're in no man's land. You're going to end up like Kenny Galladay, which looks like a genius just for taking the money because he's hurt all the time.
Marcus Mariota could end up as a starter at one of these places. Someone's
for the love of God.
He probably Colts, Seahawks, one of those teams that is going to need the quarterback. I could see Mariota getting the chance, or Browns. If it doesn't work out with Watson and Baker's gone, I could see Mariota getting.
Well, that's why the Steelers look like geniuses taking Trubisky this early on that kind of a prove it deal because if you're not, one of those teams, why wouldn't you? Because Mariota is not the long term. Fixed, right?
Yeah,
but Trubisky still could be.
Yeah, Mariota, give him a shot. You never know.
Yeah, he's a holding the place guy though. Right. 1-3 years maybe tops.
Leonard Fournette still a free agent. I would expect him to go back to Tampa. Sony Michel's a free agent. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to the Rams as well. They're not going to get big deals. Rashad Penny's still a free agent. I'm really interested what happens with him. He really looked great at the end of the year. If he goes back to Seattle, maybe he'll get the chance. I don't know.
Well, will they be able to run now that every team knows they won't throw it? But you have to believe they're going to hand it off a lot.
Yep. Well, it's going to be interesting to see.
We'll see who they get.
Melvin Gordon's a free agent. It sounds like he did want to go back to Denver. So we'll see how that plays out. Will Fuller's a free agent, and I'm not going to care. I can't care anymore about Will Fuller. I don't know about you. I just can't do it. Jamison Crowder, he's a free agent as well. Marcus Valdez-Scantling, excited about him. Not really. T.Y. Hilton. What about Sammy Watkins? Can I interest you in Sammy Watkins?
Man, there's not that many guys left, I guess.
No, there's not a lot of big there's a couple at the top. It wasn't honestly like a major year for free agents, like big time players, it feels like. The bigger stuff happened in the trades and then the retirement, non-retirement. So there we go. So next week we'll be back, be able to talk about some more signings, though. Where these running backs went. I think Penny's actually the one I'm most interested in, to be honest. Maybe because I own him in one of our leagues and I can decide, am I keeping him or not? If he gets a spot and he gets to be a starter, maybe I will.
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope that Allen Robinson goes somewhere that's interesting.
Yep. I'm happy the Lions aren't going to pay him. I was worried about that. That was one of the rumors.
Yeah, I am too.
I didn't need to do that because he's from Detroit as well, and that was kind of the rumor. And I'm like, no, don't need to. That's not where they are right now.
No, it's not going to help them win.
Wait till you have your quarterback of the future. You don't have that yet.
Yeah, exactly. Don't overpay on any wide receiver. Just keep stacking linemen and defensive players. I was, but Steelers is interesting because they ended up getting Miles Jack, right?
Yeah, did he end up signing? Yeah,
yeah. I think they said he signed with them. So they got another really good linebacker. So you could, if everyone is healthy, they could have an amazing defense. So it is going to be interesting, and they have really good young wide receivers. I'm so interested to see if Trubisky can be anything.
I am too. I think, I'm not done with it. We'll see what happens. All right, there we go. We're back. First episode done. It's been a while, so it's good. But again, if you're listening, you want to get involved in our Discord. I mean, last night on my gambling picks, I went 6-0. So, do you want to win money? 6-0 last night, Jeff. 6-0. Plus, one of them was a 3-team college basketball parlay. Plus 600. $3, you win, you 21. That's what the standard bet. One money, go to our Discord. So go to Instagram.com/fantasyfootballprofit and message us. We'll get you the link to that. But that'll do it for today. Talk to you guys next week.